All right, the game timer. So we're going to set this up similar to how we did for the intermission timer. For I equals 40, comma, 0, comma, -1, do, with a for loop. Okay, status.value equals game, colon, space, closing quotation, and I put one too many equal signs here. Only one equal sign. Okay. Task, wait. Oh my goodness, I can't type today. Task, wait, 1. Local playing. We're going to set up a table. Okay. All right. For I, comma, player in pairs, players, get children, do. Okay, so we're going to get the players again and run the code on each player. If player.team.name equals playing, then run the code inside of here. Table, insert. Okay, then our table name and the player name. Okay, it's going to insert the player name into the table, and our table name is called playing. Okay. If number playing equals 0, then status.value equals everyone has died. Wait, 3, break. Okay. If number playing equals 0, oops, I just did 0, equals 1, then status.value, no. For I, player in pairs, game.players, get children, do. Local winner name equals playing 1. Okay. If winner name equals player.name, then status.value equals playing 1 has 1. So this is gonna, if the number playing is only 1, then the winner name is going to be the playing 1. Okay? Whoever the 1 is in the playing table, and whatever their player name is. So if winner name equals the player name, then change the status value to, the player's name, ... has 1. So that's when it's going to show the player's name here saying so-and-so 1. Okay. And wait, 3, break. Okay. Now the break causes the code to stop. And did I do that right? Okay, my wait and break actually need to be inside of this for loop. Okay. 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 Now we're going to do the teleport players to the lobby. All right. For I, player in pairs, game dot players get players do local character equals player dot character if character then. So we're kind of just repeating what we did above when we teleported the player to the blue part. Okay. And I have a typo right here. Okay. So we are going to test this. I already had the script in here, so I'm going to disable it so that the two don't interfere. And we're going to test the one that I just wrote to see if there's any errors. All right. So I'm going to hit play. And remember, I put a brief wait. Now, I am in the lobby, which is correct. Okay. All right, my timer just started for the intermission, so I'm going to sit in the intermission for 20 seconds, and it's counting down. And then once it finishes, it should teleport me over here to the blue block, which is going to be in the game. Okay, it did that. And we saw the timer change to 40, but then it very quickly said I won. because we scripted it that way. Okay, so we obviously need more than one player for this game. So if you're going to allow one player, then you need to change this script a little bit in regards to that. And the reason it ends is because I said return. Okay, so we can see it's just going back and forth now. It's running the script in the way that it was written. So everything's working great, and I don't see any error messages either. Okay. So this is how you set that up. And I hope this helps. And I hope I explained everything in a way that's understandable. Okay, just to review, I'm going to review some of the scripting terminology for anybody who's a true beginner real quick, just by looking at this script. So variables. Variable is a name associated with a value. So the name is written on the left side of the equal sign, and the value is written on the right side of the equal sign. And so you can name it whatever you want, okay? You should always be descriptive of what you're trying to do, because if somebody comes in later to look at your script and it's not explanatory, they may get confused, okay? So the right side has to follow the hierarchical structure, which is used in Roblox. So when we talk about the hierarchy, if you look in your Explorer window, let's just look at Workspace, and you'll see it has this little arrow next to it. Well, if I click that arrow, it opens up, and everything sitting in Workspace is a child of Workspace. And then the children in Workspace can have children. So the spawn location has a child because it's got an arrow. Okay, so these are descendants. All right, so when you set the value for your variables, you always have to follow the structure correctly so that the script knows where to look. Okay. All right, let's see. There are various kinds of loops that can be written in code. So the while is a loop. We have a while loop, we have a for loop, and we have a sort of a table loop. A table loop iterates through something. Okay, so for example, we were using a table loop that iterates through the players, and it runs the code inside of it for each player. All right. The while true loop runs as long as it's true, and I haven't made it false, so because it's going to remain true, this code is going to continue to run. And then the for I loop is going to iterate through the numbers I've set up 20 through 0, and it's going to keep running through. It's going to run through while until it gets to 0. Okay. All right. Let's see, what else do we have here? It's another variable. We have if statements. If statements always start with if, and then a condition is to be met as true. And as long as that condition is true, the code inside of it will run. So in this if statement, if character then. So what that's saying is if the player, has a character, then do the code inside of this. So this is where we're going to teleport the player. Okay. What else can I review pretty quickly? Wait for child is sort of kind of self-explanatory, I guess. When the instance you need to reference has to replicate from the computer or another script, that's when you use wait for child. Okay. a good example of this is sometimes when you're loading into a game, scripts run very fast, and some of those scripts will already start, which is why I put this weight up here, okay, because I wanted you to see everything happen. If the character isn't loaded yet, you know, it may not recognize it, and it may throw some kind of error because it doesn't see it there yet. Okay, so that's why, that's an example of when you might use, you know, wait for child. Okay. Okay, I think I mentioned a table loop, but let me just say a little bit more about the table loop. A table loop iterates through a table. I is the index, and then or the placeholder, and V is the key or value. So let's just look at this loop right here. Here's I, the index, and here is what a lot of people will put V, but you can put whatever you want here. And in this situation, we put player, okay, and that is the key or the value for the table, okay. So a lot of times you may see a table loop written like this, okay, a table loop written like this. And remember, in this script, we did do a table insert, and we named that table playing. So in this little table loop, I can put the table name, okay, playing. All right, so actually I'm going to put this inside of here. Okay, where did I put my table again? Right here. Oh, it's inside of there. So actually I'm going to put it inside of that for loop, okay, so that it recognizes the table, okay. And I'm just going to say print playing, and I'm going to say print I comma V, or let's do this, I print V, okay. All right, let's see what happens when I press play. Okay, so we're going to look for a print statement in our output window for 60, 61, and 62. When it gets to that portion of the code. Okay, so we have a little bit to wait. Oh, I covered up my timer, didn't I? Tables can be kind of confusing to get the hang of, at least for me. Okay, actually, I forgot. Am I ever going to get to that point? Nope, because of the break. So let me do this again. Got to remember how you write your code. All right, let's do it right here. Okay. You don't need this. I'm just trying to show you, just teach a little bit more for beginners who don't understand or haven't encountered this yet. La 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 la. Hurry up, timer. Okay, so now we're going to teleport to the blue block. And now it did print this time because I put that loop before that break statement. Okay, so now you can see what printed. So remember, in the script, we said to print playing, so that's going to print the table. Okay, so there it is. So if you open the table up, it shows you 1 is rail 777, okay, because I'm the player in the game right now, all right? And then if we look at the next thing that the print statement asked for was I, the index, okay, so it told us the index is 1, okay, and then in this case V is the value, okay, so it printed that, see line 60, rail 777 is the value, okay, so that might help you understand the structure of a table loop a little bit better if you didn't already know, okay. So I don't really need that in here. I just wanted to show you. So I'm going to take that back out. Okay, so another thing I want to briefly point out is 1 equals sign versus 2 equals signs in script, okay? All right, 1 equals sign is to set a value, okay? So that's why when we make a variable, we use 1 equals sign because we did the name on the left side and we set the value on the right side, okay? But when you put 2 equals sign, it's to just check the equality of a condition, okay? So like for example, in this if statement, we're checking to see if the player.team name is playing, okay? So 1 equals sign sets a value, 2 equals signs checks. It checks the equality of a condition, or it checks to see if it is. Okay. What else? A wait creates a wait of time for the amount specified in the parentheses. Okay, so this says wait 3. Same for task wait. Okay. Replicated storage is a container service to store objects available to both the server and the client. Okay. Server script service is a container service to store server scripts. Okay. And what else did we use in here that I might need to point out? I pointed out functions. This is an event function. An event function runs every time the event happens, and in this one, it's when the player dies. Whatever code is written inside of here is going to run or execute when the player dies. We did a text label. The text label renders a rectangle-like frame to display text. Okay. And remember, we did the script for that text label. Okay. And remember the screen GUI. Okay. The screen GUI is the main storage object for a 2D GUI object, which displays on the screen. Okay, so the text label is a 2D GUI object, and it has to sit inside of the screen GUI. Okay, because if I were to just take this and move the text label into Starter GUI, we can't see it. It has to be sitting in the screen GUI. Okay. Okay, I think that about covers pretty much everything. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. And like I said, you can change your time here. So like, for example, if I were to change this to maybe like a 10, you know, you can go higher or lower based on whatever your game needs. I'm just going to go lower real quick just for another quick demo of this game or this round system. And because like, you know, some rounds are going to be a lot longer than what I've put in this script. So, you know, you might need like a 10-minute round over, you know, just a few seconds. Okay. So that can be changed. It's not going to break the script if you change these times around any. But then if you change your time, make sure you change it here as well. So like if you change this, I should have changed that here, but I didn't. So change that there. Okay, so just make sure when you make a change, you've made all the necessary changes so that it affects your script appropriately. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope this helps with what you wanted to achieve for the round system. All right. Thanks for watching.